Sucky boo!
Sucky boo!
Welcome back to the league on ESPN 8, the Ocho. This is the Coach and Coach podcast. We couldn't have Coach join us, so we got Gator subbing in. We're excited about that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to break down the league. This is not a show about fantasy football. This is a show about ESPN 8, the Ocho, playing fantasy football.
If you want a show about fantasy football, listen to fantasy football or someone
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
I'm just going to tell you how much your fucking team sucks.
But I know us, and I know we suck. So we're going to break down our teams week in, week out. We're going to talk about how we perform against each other. I don't care how the Lions are doing. I don't care how the Redskins are doing. I care about how Buck Wild is doing against Vinegar Strokes.
They're not called the Redskins.
Oh my God. They're not called anything.
The Washington football team,
If they want me to not call them the Redskins, they can pick a real name.
Well,
until then, I'm just going to keep getting it wrong.
Madden 21 would say otherwise.
I
it says the
apologize
Washington
for anybody.
football team.
Anybody who's watching this who is offended by it, I understand, and I apologize. We could edit it out, but go fuck yourself. It's not that kind of podcast. So, let's jump right into it. This week we're going to do is we're going to break down everyone's rosters, see how we drafted. There's been a couple transactions. We'll just see how everyone's team looks going into the season. Okay, you want to go ahead and click on that first team there?
Yeah.
That was smooth. Here we go.
Get there
We
eventually.
can find the mouse there.
There we go.
Yeah, now we're talking. A little bit of technical.
All right, so we're just going to go to the first team here. Let's go to let's just go to Vinegar Strokes.
Vinegar Strokes. That's a good team.
That's
you know why it's a
dog
good
shit
team?
team.
Because it's my team. We're gonna break it down here. So if you're looking at the teams here, I think I have a good team, but I don't want to just jump in and be overly aggressive. So I'm gonna let Gator take it first because it is my team, and I don't want to color anyone's opinion.
All right,
here.
well, let's see here. What stands out? You got a young quarterback in Kyler Murray.
Breakout candidate.
Did a very average job for a pro quarterback. I mean, a little slightly above average for a rookie last year. I think he's a solid pick. Now, could you have drafted someone more reliable? Maybe, but it's a.
Well, this is the highest I've ever taken a quarterback. I usually subscribe to the footballer's idea of taking a quarterback late, but I wanted a shot at Lamar. I was so close to taking Pat Mahomes 2 years ago. I wanted Lamar last year, and I kept not pulling the trigger, so I figured this year I was going to man up and pull the trigger on who I thought. So with him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I went young. But I feel confident. I feel confident in those young guys to step up.
Now, on the other side of young, we got Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, yeah, starting him up. I actually took him. I think I took him 11th, 12th round, but as long as he's healthy, I'm starting him. And then he's going to get hurt in 3 weeks, and that's okay. I got a couple backups sitting on the bench down there if you look, but
yeah,
I feel confident starting him early against the Washington football team. So
how confident do you feel if you got him paired with Julio? You got some experience on the board, but you don't have, you went young in a couple different spots.
Well, I got stuck with Julio as part of my carryover from last year.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't pumped about it as all the people I could have had, but I like him. He's good. He's solid. He's, year in, year out. Wish he scored more touchdowns, but I feel like every week I can guarantee I'm going to get 8 points from him, so I feel all right about it.
Now, on your bench, who stands out to me, and it's not Phillip Rivers.
Oh, man.
It's that Tevin Coleman. Indiana product.
Yes.
San Francisco, you stayed.
Well, actually, I'm pumped about Tevin Coleman because he's got a shot. I mean, everybody who carried the ball for San Francisco last year did well. Yep. They have one less running back in there now. They got rid of Matt Breida, so now it's just Coleman and
Mostert's gonna carry or split time with him, but
so I feel all right about it.
Yeah. You got some good players. You got a solid overall team here.
I like it. We'll talk about AJ Green later in the transactions part. I did just trade for him, but we'll get back to that when we talk about the breakdowns of the week. So let's go to our next team and see if there's anyone good.
Why not?
Anyone good?
Twin Lake Tachanka.
The other half of Coach and Coach here. Also, he couldn't make it this week, but we'll be glad to break down and make fun of his team. When I look at it right off the bat, I know he also started with a receiver like me. I got stuck with Julio Jones. He got to keep DeAndre Hopkins. I've tried to make the trade straight up with him, Julio over Hopkins. He hasn't bitten yet. I'm trying to get the stack there with Hopkins and Murray, but he wants to keep him. So he's got 2 Arizona players as his 2 best players, I think. You could argue Joe Mixon maybe, but Kenyon Drake and Hopkins are both huge upside guys, both on Arizona. So if my quarterback plays well, Coach's team is going to play well.
That's
and then
gonna suck for you.
Just get a little coach simpatico. We'll feel okay about it. I wish he'd do the trade, but
right until you play him.
Yeah, until I play him. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
never fun.
what do you think about the Steelers D?
Oh, Steelers D is a playmaking defense, but I've always gone for the safe route.
Yeah.
I always go the San Francisco, not going to get a ton of turnovers, but not going to give up a lot of points. I always go New England, things like that. Whereas Pittsburgh is one of those, they might give up 25 points, but they get 4 sacks and
two picks,
and all of a sudden it looks like they had a good week anyway. So it's an interesting choice. Not my favorite.
Now you had your nice DJ Chark last year. What do you think about moving forward into this year with a DJ Chark? Yeah.
Well, I do like singing the song.
I fucking
There's
know
no
you
doubt
do.
about that. I
God
love
damn it,
singing the
you
song.
do. I was so pissed every time we got on Siege last year.
But he's good. He's young. I think Jacksonville's going to be the worst team in the league. I think there's a chance they go 2-14, just absolute crater. But I feel like a lot of teams that are terrible still have like a good receiver.
Yeah.
You're down 30 points. You got to throw the ball. And so I don't know. I think it's okay. I think he'll have about as good as the year as he had as a rookie year. He might take a small step forward, but again, if you look at Coach's team, though, he's got Mixon, Drake, and Hopkins, and Russell Wilson. DJ Chark doesn't need to be better than he was last year. He just needs to be as good as he was, and Coach's team is going to be just fine. A lot of solid players. So check his depth out, see if he's got anyone down here that's really got a shot to make any plays.
Let's see here. You know what jumps out to me as a boomer bust player this year. We all know this is the first time since 1997 we're going to watch an NFL season with no Mannings.
That's true.
So you don't got Eli Manning at the Giants back in the pocket anymore.
Shepard over here. Okay.
What do you think about Sterling?
Well, I don't know if you remember the draft, but if you look at our draft board, you would notice that Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, and who's that third receiver for? I don't even fucking know. But all 3 Giants receivers were taking 3 picks in a row, which was stunningly fascinating. It could only happen on the league.
Hell yeah.
ESPN at the Ocho. So one of them is going to be good.
Oh yeah, one of them's got to be good.
I think Daniel Jones sucks, but no matter what, if you're the number 1 receiver on a team, you're worth having. So if he ends up being the one, that's great. He's probably the most likely to be the one. I don't know why I took Golden Tate just to be an ass. Well, that's probably one of the things I regret.
That sounds
from the draft, but
sounds accurate.
I think Coach's got a good team here.
I think so too. We're gonna move on just for the sake of time here. We don't want to get too into the first episode. We'll save some for later on. Now we got Batman Chalupa here,
classic the league reference here,
aka
Care Bear
Robin Soft Taco.
Do you love me?
All right. So what do you got here? What do you got?
Oh yeah. So this is.
I think this is a real solid team just
here.
overall.
Yeah. So Kerry got the number 1 overall pick for the 3rd time in 5 years. We've had this league for 5 years. Kerry's gotten the number 1 pick. This is now his 3rd time. Jumping right off the board, getting Christian McCaffrey.
I blame his daughter for picking.
I know she did. That was bullshit. But
yeah,
it's never worked out for him yet. Is this the year? Is this the year that it works out?
Is this the year? I fucking hope not.
Yeah,
I hope it's my year.
I hope he doesn't win a game.
30 years of charm for Gators or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, obviously, definitely Christian McCaffrey jumps off the board. You don't have to say too much about him. You just got to say Christian McCaffrey. Everybody knows what the hell you're talking about.
All right.
But I like him paired with Melvin Gordon. I think that's a solid backfield right there between Drew Brees, Christian McCaffrey, Melvin Gordon. I think they're going to get him at least 30 points, 30 to 40 on average between the 3 of those.
I can see it. So what I love is George Kittle here. I'm gonna get a little look there, George Kittle. I keep pointing at the screen like you guys can see it, but you see it back here. George Kittle at tight end. He took him early, took him 2nd round, and just going out there making plays. The 2nd tight end off the board, immediately taken after Kelsey. Going big tight end early is risky,
but I think it'll pay off this year.
It might pay off, but you look at
Kittle.
But you look at the starting receivers. You look at T.Y. Hilton and Cooper Kupp, both receivers who make plays and get a lot of yards and score plenty of points. But both receivers who have been hurt the last 2 years and struggle to stay healthy. So, are you really going to rely on your tight end to keep you up when you don't have any receivers that are worth noting? I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is in his flex.
Right. Well, with Emmanuel Sanders, you got the Drew Brees Sanders combo. But back to Ty, you got to go off your point. You got a receiver who's good for a touchdown or 2 a game, good for a lot of yards, for a lot of plays. But you're also looking at a T.Y. Hilton who's not his prime T.Y. anymore, and you're looking at an Indianapolis roster that's bringing in other receivers.
Yeah. Like when drafted Pittman Jr., they invested a lot. They got a new
They've got
quarterback.
Zach Pascal. They've been
Pascal,
working with.
A lot of young guys over
Who
there.
was the fast young guy that they drafted last year?
I don't fucking know.
I can't.
If he was
remember.
any good, I'd know his name, wouldn't
Yeah.
I?
Well.
But yeah, that's my point on Carey's team is you make a pick like Kittle and you're sacrificing a lot of depth in positions of need like receiver, and if Hilton and Cup get hurt, you can't. Christian McCaffrey's not good enough to carry you by himself.
Now on that hand though, T.Y. and Cooper get hurt. You got George Kittle as a nice solid trade bait.
And that's true. You could trade him out and get yourself a couple of solid backup receivers there. Make some moves here.
Now, I know you like you some Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, I love Jerry Jeudy. But the thing is, as the footballers would tell you, rookie receivers start slow
Every time.
every year, all the time.
Every time.
He's going to be no exception, which is why he's on the bench right now. That's why Carey's not throwing him out there early. I think he's good. Maybe by the end of the year, if Carey, is disciplined enough to hold on to him. Carey's one to quickly drop motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So if I know Carey, Jerry Jeudy's going to be on his bench for 4 weeks, get dropped. I'll pick him up week 9. I'll start him, and it's going to be good.
And Carey will be pissed.
And then Carey's going to be pissed.
Now,
Carey,
I do like this duo combo between Drew Brees and Cam. I'm excited to see what Cam does.
Yeah, there's a lot of 2 quarterbacks. A lot of us took 2 quarterbacks. That's why you look at everyone's bench.
I think I did.
I feel like everyone's bench has a good backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Again, tend to get dropped.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to drop a lot of back quarterbacks so we can pick up the new hotness, the receiver that makes the big week 1. But Carey's excited about DeAndre Swift. I know that. He's excited for what he could do. Obviously, Carey's a big Detroit Lions fan. A lot of us are. Maybe not the other coach. Definitely not you. But so we'll see about that. Carey's team, it's got a couple big names that need to be big all the time because he doesn't have depth behind him. So
true.
Big players got to be big players all the time. So
I think it's an interesting choice there, Jerick McKinnon, considering you got Tevin Coleman and Matt
picking
Breida.
the third running back from San Francisco is interesting. We'll see if it could happen. But
We'll see what happens.
it's been 3 years that he's been on that team and he can't fucking get a carry. So
All right, Wakanda forever.
R.I.P. Chad Boseman. That sucks.
You
That
did your
blows.
thing.
Definitely sucks donkey ass that he's gone. But we're here to talk fantasy football, not to be sad about an actor passing. And
This is true.
we're glad to see the Bush is paying a little tribute there. But let's talk about his team first and foremost. Look at who he's got starting at quarterback.
First and foremost, I'm pissed he took Jonathan Taylor. But anyway.
Yeah, I remember. Well, you would be pissed, but that's all right.
Almost as pissed as Jordan.
Oh my God, we'll have to talk. We'll have a whole segment, I guess, dedicated to Jordan being a fucking bitch.
I love you, dog. I love you.
Try and fucking should have just took Lamar Jackson, man. Yeah, fuck whatever. All right, but let's look at Bush's team here. We're starting Teddy Bridgewater, someone who, frankly, in my opinion, is garbage. I mean, he's on Carolina, so he can throw it to Christian McCaffrey and all that stuff. I just never thought he was a good quarterback in college. I didn't really think he performed that well for New Orleans last year.
I think it's such a subpar pick that Bush knows something we don't.
No, but Bush always thinks he does. Well, Bush actually took Joe Burrow, so I'm assuming he's sitting on his bench. I think they have a tough matchup this week, so that might make sense. So Bush is
Joe Burrow.
Bush is relying on Joe Burrow to step up, but the fact that he's got to start Teddy Bridgewater week 1 is tough.
It is. But, we don't know what he can do as a starter,
We'll find out. But
At least in the Carolina system.
Bush has the staples, right? Bush has got the staples in Zeke. Connor's going to get he's got people on the field who are going to get the ball.
Right.
A lot.
They're going to get the ball a lot.
And that's what Bush relies on.
And their teams are going to have very favorable matchups.
Yeah.
Where they're going to get a lot of points. And then they're going to have those matchups where, people like Zeke, people like Travis Kelce, they're going to be good 90% of the time, but they're going to have, look at Zeke last year, you're going to have those games where you don't get the ball. Or, Tony Pollard steps in and has a good game and you don't get as many minutes.
Yeah, that's where depth comes in. All right, so I'm going to let you take a little flyer here on Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis running back. So Bush took him at a pretty decent draft price for a rookie who, frankly, is the backup running back right now behind Marlon Mack.
Right.
I know you're a huge Indianapolis guy. So you've been keeping track. Do you know what's going on? Is he going to get a lot of carries week 1, or what's going on?
They've not really officially talked about what the plan with Jonathan Taylor is. Just like most rookies, they don't really have a set in stone long-term plan. But the idea right now, it's going around the grapevine and through shows and whatnot, is that Jonathan Taylor's pretty much the backup. he's gonna have just as many, if not more, reps than.
So why is Bush
than
starting in week 1?
Naheem Hines. But I think he's starting him because he doesn't have Marlon Mack.
That's fair.
Second of all, I think that Jonathan Taylor is a ground and pound guy. Is going to get the job done. I don't think he's going to see as much playing time as somebody like Bush might hope in the first month. But I think he's got a lot of potential. He's packing on the weight. He's getting those reps in practice. And I've watched, the little videos that they share on social media and stuff and whatnot, and how the players are surrounding him and the energy that he brings to the field. I think he's going to be the next running back for Indianapolis. I think Marlon Mack's going to take a back seat and eventually get traded away. But at least for the first 3-4 weeks, I don't think Jonathan Taylor's going to get more reps than Marlon. We'll see.
You don't play Jacksonville. Maybe you don't need a whole lot of carries. That might be what Bush's thinking is. Let's see if he has anyone on his bench that he could be starting. But
I do like that Colts D with some Darius Leonard.
Do love a lot of Colts talk here of the coach can't make it when subbing in. But
fucking love it.
Bush has 2 picks here that I loved during the draft: Cooks and Tyler Boyd. 2 people who are just going to get the ball.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting someone, he was getting them 9th, 10th round. You're looking 9th, 10th round, and you're finding someone who's going to get the ball. They might not be the flashy big name. But, that's the person you need when you don't have anyone to start a flex.
Yeah.
Someone who you're just like, hey, he might not fucking have 100 yards, but he's going to get 6 catches.
That's true.
His chance is a touchdown. So,
yeah.
It's classic Bush right there to pull a move like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good, Bush. We'll see what happens.
And just a quick little soggy Bush.
Soggy Bush.
Fucking soggy Bush.
God damn.
Yeah,
I love saying Sucky Bush.
Dude. Just change my team name.
Especially when, Sucky Bush, One time I was going to Sucky Bush, but then Sucky Bush happened.
I would change my team name to Sucky Bush, but then I would confuse my own team with Bush.
All right, I'm gonna let you do a little thing on this team. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, there goes Gator there. He's got things to do. Well, that's good because this is my week 1 opponent, actually. It's our last year's champ. We got Josh who came out, got us a win last year. Really got lucky to finally compete in the league after my years and years of domination. So let's see if we think he can come back here. I know that I think he's got an okay team at best. The thing about Josh is a good player. So all love that I know that you're going to take this team and make it happen. But when I look at it, it's not the team that excites me. Right? Austin Eckler, good, solid player. This isn't PPR, though. So I expect Austin Eckler to be okay at best. Especially once... Oh, hey. Those Gators back. Looking good.
I like Tyreek Hill a lot. The speed that he brings to the field. He's going to burn those players, get those deep, nice, long catches. That's going to rack up really fast on those yards. He's going to get touchdowns. And he's got the greatest quarterback in the league behind him. So
yeah, too many missed weeks for me though. Too many missed weeks for me. It's the same thing I feel for someone like Aaron Jones, who is going to have games where he has 4 touchdowns because that's what the Packers do. Mm-hmm. But he's going to have games where he just doesn't get the ball. Packers aren't a great offense. It's not my team. They might be great. It's a lot of people that he really likes. Josh Allen's a great pick. He got him super late.
Right.
Terrible quarterback. Great fantasy football quarterback because he runs a lot.
True.
And he's got a great matchup right there, the Giant.
Right.
The Jets.
I like this team overall. This is a team that I could see making a deep run. It's.
I think it's a team that he could make some moves on, but I'm not huge on.
Right.
Antonio Gibson here, though. This is. So if you guys don't watch the Fantasy Footballers podcast, we love it. We're going to talk about it a lot. Antonio Gibson is huge for them. If you don't know who Antonio Gibson is, he's a rookie. He just got drafted by the Washington football team. This kid's a monster athlete. Big, fast, catch, does all the things well. But he got hurt in college, didn't get to play that year. So, of course, he slipped in the draft. Yep.
Too much.
And then with Washington dropping Adrian Peterson, getting signed by the Lions, lame. But with a clear backfield and no one else to carry, he picked up Antonio Gibson, 11th round or something like that? You got a starting running back in the NFL for the 11th round. That is value that is going to pay off. If Antonio Gibson is not a superstar, it doesn't matter. He's still going to get 20 carries, and someone's going to want to trade for that as soon as someone gets hurt.
Antonio Gibson's, I think, a player that could show a lot of promise in the beginning. You could do one of two things with him. You could hold on to him and hope that he continues to do that, or trade him high, trade him at good value, and hope that he collapses after you trade him.
Yeah, and Josh is one of the more active people in our league, probably up there with me as the most trades in the league. I'd say me, you, Josh, probably trade more than anyone.
All three with smallest penises, that's for sure.
That's for sure. That we do have to. And Darius Slayton, that's the third receiver for New York.
Yeah.
Three picks around here. So, little call back there. But yeah, Josh is going to have some wheeling and dealing to do. He's got a lot of good players. I don't love his bench. I don't think Fournette's going to be anything in Tampa Bay.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, I think
Ronald Jones is a solid running back for him, but I think Leonard Fournette can take a spot.
We'll see. I mean, I just think about Tampa Bay's offense, and they're going to want to throw the ball. I don't know how much they're going to line up with a fullback and give it to Fournette, but I guess
that's true.
They did sign him for a reaon.
You look at what Brady's done in the past. It's Jody Michelle's and other running backs. He passes a lot. He turns running ground and pound running backs into receiving running backs. So.
Yeah, that's why I expect Jones to keep it, but I could be wrong, and we'll find out. I don't think he's worth holding on to. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't trade him anytime soon yet. All right, Desi #, basically taco.
All right, so Desi sucks. But we wanted to get another girl in the league, and we think I like the dynamic,
Yeah.
Me and Jenny, I think it's a fun dynamic.
I think it's not fair to call her Desi. I think you got chilled with Batman and basically Taco. Yeah. Carry one and carry one B.
Yeah, it's true. That's sometimes
how it goes.
Sometimes
I'm giving you shit, Desi. I'm giving you shit. You do whatever you want to do with your team.
Don't let him lie to you. Desi does exactly what Carrie tells her to do. Far more than Jenny does what I tell her to do.
That's true.
Jenny loves to ask me for advice and then never fucking
Jenny's smart and not taking your advice.
Yeah.
She wants to know what your advice is to do the exact opposite. Because you take your advice and we see how that works out.
Yeah. 3 championships. That's how it works out.
Yeah. Well, not since
people should take more of my advice. But with that said, taking Carrie's advice has worked out. Desi has a great team. She made that draft day trade of Nick Chubb for Lamar Jackson and Chris Carson.
You
see starting off right now. That's just good depth. You're getting yourself a stud quarterback and like a decent replacement running back in that situation.
Now, out of this board, you got a lot of expected players, including Devin Singletary. But Devin Singletary, I don't think is in most people. Not every fantasy league is going to have a Devin Singletary in their starting lineup.
Yeah,
but
it's not flashy.
What's your take on him this year? After last year, what we saw with him.
I mean, you always want someone who's going to get touches. I think if you know anything about fantasy football, that's the thing you need to know. Is it's more about getting touches than it is about getting yards and getting touchdowns.
Yeah.
You want someone who you know is going to get the ball. So Singletary's going to get the ball. Is he going to suck? Probably. He's not that good. He wasn't that good in college. But as long as no one else is in Buffalo, you want to keep him. You want to keep him on your team.
Absolutely.
Getting carries and
he's not a great NFL running back. But he's a great fantasy running back.
Yeah, that's all you need. You just need someone who's going to get the ball. So I like it. And that was her opinion with Chris Godwin. You're thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah.
He's just someone who's going to get the ball a lot.
Exactly.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast. He's quick. He's something Brady's going to like. Mm-hmm. So the same thing with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen isn't going to go out there and get you 1,600 yards, but he's going to go get you 1,100 yards because he got fucking thrown the ball 13 times a game.
Exactly. Well, we'll see how the whole Chicago Bears thing shake up. But Allen Robinson's going to be there. He's been there before this whole quarterback dispute. He's going to be there after it. He's not. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But solid lineup.
There's got a lot of people who are going to get the ball. I think no one flashy, but everyone's going to get the ball. Nothing. This is when I look at Desi's bench, I see nothing.
I see absolute solid. Just I need somebody to fill in this week, and that's just who it is.
If I was Desi, I would trade Todd Gurley right now for just like
anybody.
And Daniel Gibson. Someone who's got a shot at being good. Gurley's never going to be good. Atlanta I just don't think he's good anymore. And nothing else on Desi's bench says anything. And she needs people on her bench.
Yeah.
You can't go into the league with this bench.
I hesitate in saying this, but I could see Sony Michel doing something, considering New England's got about 2 Girl Scouts for wide receivers and Julian Edelman.
Yeah, they do have to run the ball a lot, and they are going to give him the ball. He got the ball a lot last year and still sucked.
Yeah. That's true.
Maybe the threat of Cam Newton gives him a little more space. Maybe he does something, but that's I think you like Desi's starting lineup. Don't like anything on the bench. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up.
What do we got here next?
All right, so we're about halfway through.
All right, here we go. We're making good. Little
Downtown slob my knob, Jordan. God damn it!
All right, so don't even show the team yet because we're just gonna start exactly where we should start. Why is Jordan such a bitch?
Oh my god, dude.
Why are you just going to go out there and be a bitch because your player got fucking drafted because you're a bitch?
All right, it's, that's fresh beer right there. going to reach for it, and you're going to take it first, and instead I'm just going to drink my own piss.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like.
Oh
right?
my god, dude!
Like, I understand that you had a player you wanted. He actually had traded away his right to take Nick Chubb to me for an extra 4th rounder, which is good value. And then Desi came in and took Nick Chubb. And Jordan loses his mind, takes like a kicker and a defense the next 2 fucking rounds out of his ass.
That's true.
Because he's a whine ass about it. And when you look at Jordan's team, you're going to see that it definitely affected it.
Oh yeah, it definitely affected it. Now, Cody and I were talking about beforehand, and this isn't so much to pick on Jordan as it is,
Well, for me it is, but maybe not.
I've been in situations, not during draft day, but just in general where it's like, well, fuck, this small thing just that I really had my mindset on isn't there anymore, and I just go bonkers. Well, instead, do something like Coach said. Why don't you just trade away Nick Chubb to Desi, or trade Desi for Nick Chubb, and then a 4th rounder and your next pick?
Which is what he did, ultimately. He traded for Nick Chubb with Lamar Jackson and Chris Carson.
Yeah.
Which was fine if you hadn't wasted your 2nd and 3rd round pick on a kicker and a defense.
This is true. Not
even like a good kicker. You just picked one because he was pissed. Whatever. Let's look at Jordan's team. Let's look at it and make fun of it. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Jordan thinks he's good. I don't think he's good.
I could see Baker Mayfield. What is this? His 4th year going in?
It's just 3rd year.
Third year going in?
3rd year.
You had a rookie year. Hardly ever great. You got your sophomore year, which is when quarterbacks start to show their promise if they have any. I haven't seen that in Baker. But Baker may be a late bloomer.
Well, Jordan will tell you this because they had a fake coach, which they did. They didn't have a real coach. They just had
That's true.
a cardboard cutout that they sat on the sideline.
Yeah.
Who was fat and stumbled around.
This is true.
But I just don't think Baker's good. I don't think he was that good in college. I was stunned he went number 1. So Jordan going hard in on Cleveland, just like he's done for 3 years in a row, it feels like. You notice right off the start, boom, 3 of his starting lineup is Cleveland players. Austin Hooper, Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield. We all know Nick Chubb's great.
Amazing.
But he's not lose my draft over kind of great. And you look at the rest of Jordan's team, you got Jordan Howard might be the starting running back in Miami. You got CeeDee Lamb, again, rookie receivers, always start slow. They've already got 2 good receivers in Dallas. Terry McLaurin's great.
I like Terry. I was mad Jordan took him the round before I was going to take him.
A big player, but if your next best player after Nick Chubb is Terry McLaurin, what the hell are you going to do all season?
I want to skip ahead real quick to the bench here, and see. Now I have a strong feeling, Austin Hooper will be replaced by Sammy Watkins, just because I don't see Jordan taking Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, 2 tight ends, into the first week.
That's classic Jordan though to do that.
It is, but not if he wants to beat me.
That's well. Jordan's pretty stubborn though, but
I'm giving you shit. Now, would you put Jordan Howard in over J.K. Dobbins, or do you roll the dice for week 1? Do you play it safe? Do you put in somebody who knows going to get some touches in Jordan Howard, or do you go all balls to the wall and go J.K. Dobbins is going to get the ball?
Yeah, so see, that's a great question because you look at Jordan's team. Jordan's team's not that good, and he needs big play players. So that's why I would start J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
I don't know how many carries he's going to get, but Baltimore, they huge lanes to run through. So even if he only gets 13 carries, he still might end up with 2 touchdowns in 40 yards, which I think is better than you can expect from Jordan Howard on Miami, who might get 19 carries for 38 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, Jordan Howard's one of those players that when he's good, he's great. But those are few and far in between.
And it would be Jordan's team to have Mohamed Sanu down here, just absolutely not even on a team.
What do you think? You think he's going to get picked up?
No.
I don't think so either.
No,
I don't think he did well enough.
I don't think so either. The only thing I like on Jordan's bench here is Dobbins has a shot at upside. Dobbins could go into Jordan's lineup and be like a player that everyone wants. Yeah, I gotta wish I had that guy in my flex. And then Matthew Stafford, who year in and year out, as long as he's healthy, is a great fantasy football quarterback. So either trade bait or something, Jordan can get a little bit of value out of there. Jordan's taking a shot on a lot of players that he believes in, but I think
this
Jordan's
team that I see right here, beside the whole getting pissed off first round, this team with being a bunch of big time players, very potentially big boomer bust, reminds me of my first 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that's how you finish 500.
Yep.
Right.
But the idea is, I get the idea. The idea is, because I've been there, is that 9 out of these 10 players blow up, and I'm going 200 plus points a week.
Yeah. Exactly. Jordan loves to pick the players he likes more than he likes to I'll play it safe.
All right, we got a new father in the league.
Oh, that's true. He is a father now. That's probably why he was too busy to make the draft. Actually, I'm pretty sure something to do with work. But this is one of our auto draft teams here. The other one was being Coach earlier, who we already talked about. Our biggest Packers fan in the league here.
Oh my God, he doesn't even like the Packers.
I know. Well, he shouldn't. They fucking suck. But
congratulations on your child.
Oh yeah,
That's
kids
pretty.
Kids are great.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
But
anyway.
you just look at his team immediately, and you look at his running backs. He has no running backs. Can you win fantasy football league without any running backs?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
You can't. You got games where your running back will put up more points than your quarterback will.
Yeah, so it's interesting thing, especially when your quarterback's not that good anymore.
That's true.
If your starting quarterback was Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes, maybe you can outduel a couple people on monster weeks. But like Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Robert Woods, 3 great receivers, but receivers just aren't as consistent as running backs.
Yeah.
So, Mike Evans blows up one week with 2 touchdowns, 130 yards. But that's the same week Devontae Adams has 3 catches for 40 yards, and your running backs aren't doing anything for you. I don't know. This is a tough team.
I could see it going one of 2 ways. I like Mike Evans. In the lineup. I like the Bears D, so long as they kind of continue where they pick up where they left off last year. But everyone else kind of, Evan Ingram could be good. Devontae Adams could be good.
He needs Evan Ingram to be good.
But I just, you can't really shit on.
He's got one running back.
Austin too much because it was an auto draft. But here's what you.
Well, he submitted who he wanted to me.
True. That's true.
And he just submitted me a giant list of receivers.
Yeah, I remember us all talking about, you sure you're going to give him a 5th receiver? This is what he wanted.
So
you can't argue with it.
He did make one trade, though. We looked down at his bench. He's got one running back that might be worth having, Mark Ingram down there. Mm-hmm. We had talked about J.K. Dobbins earlier for Jordan's team. Mark Ingram, who's right now is the starter in Baltimore. Great place to be the starter at.
It is.
He's probably going to move him up to the starting lineup by the time the week starts. Is he good enough to be your running back 1 and do anything, or we still think he has no running backs?
I think that we give it a few weeks, figure out if he's a running back one or not, because, like I said, J.K. Dobbins could get his few touches in the first game and just take off.
That would really suck for Austin.
And never look back at Mark Ingram again.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, Austin is back to having 0 running backs.
Yeah.
And then just like we just said, I just don't think that's a way you can win this league. I think you can win a couple weeks, but I just don't think it's a way to win.
You package in some of your bench players and try to move up with some running backs.
Yeah, someone. Take a shot on someone.
All right, who we got next here?
Probably some bitch.
Oh, my God. Probably. Team quarantine.
All right, let's take that back. I definitely take that back, dude.
You heard it here first.
I love my wife. She's great, and she's definitely better than I am at everything besides.
And she's gonna get put down in fantasy by me.
Her team's good, man.
I know. That's why I'm trying to put that mojo out there, so she's not as good as the lineup says.
Call me biased all you want. I said it coming out of the draft, and I'll say it now.
All right, biased all you want.
I think it's the best one. I think it's the best team coming out of that draft. You could argue there's a couple teams we haven't talked about yet that you could argue are pretty good, but
I mean, I wouldn't say definitely. I don't agree, but I think as far as the teams we've seen so far, Josh is giving it a run for a month.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a good team too. I think Josh is a great team, but if I look at just starters, you assume everyone on this team is healthy. I just don't think you can beat them. I think Josh Jacobs proved himself last year. Solid, gets the ball a lot, does a lot with it. Derrick Henry, great running back. Only got better as the year went on. They're going to give him the ball even more. Kenny Galladay led the league in touchdowns last year. Big play receiver. Stafford healthy. Only going to get better. Adam Thielen, solid. Now Stephon Diggs is out of the picture. Going to get the ball all the time.
I'm going to say that's the only, he had a dip in his fantasy points last year for a little bit. That's just because of the dual threat in the wide receiver position. He's by himself now.
Yeah. I just can't imagine if this team's healthy. There's a lot you could do about it. You assume Raheem Mostert's the starter in San Francisco. He was better than Coleman last year, which is, I picked up Coleman on the off chance he gets some touches, but
I think the weak link in this lineup, just for lack of a better word, is Jared Cook, and that's not a weak link. I say that because I've had Jared Cook, and he's let me down time and time again, but it's not a weak link.
Yeah, if your worst player is your tight end,
and
he's the tight end for freaking New Orleans. I feel all right about it.
I like talking this team up because when I beat it, it makes me feel better.
I feel it. And even you look at this bench, and you like the bench.
I like Robbie Anderson.
I
like Robbie Anderson in the Carolina system.
You do?
Kind of off the Jets.
That's the one
I think that he had no room to grow with the Jets. I think that
They do suck.
I think that you don't have Cam Newton anymore, but Robbie Anderson is going to be one of the reliable receivers on that Carolina offense.
Yeah, they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot going out there. But you even look at like Marquise Brown when he was healthy last year, big play guy. He's a little, hit or miss, so he might have to get rid of him. But Latavius Murray's going to get carries. New Orleans loves to run the ball.
Sure.
And then Matt Ryan might be the best backup quarterback of all of us. All of us have two quarterbacks, and that might be the best one sitting on anyone's bench right now. So, I don't know, man. This is the team that, just in my preview looking at it, it's not the team that I want to face right now.
Yeah.
A couple weeks
all right.
to get hurt before I have to face them. In my hope.
That's true.
That's true, babe. I do hope your team gets hurt because I want to win.
All right. I'm going to let you take this one over.
BNB.
So I'm not too biased here.
Too biased. No, I want to hear from you. How is this team? How does your team? We're looking at this team right here. How does this team get you in the playoffs and competing for a championship? You tell me.
Well, you see, the way fantasy football works is you get 1 point for every 10 yards you catch.
Okay, yeah, that's
25 passing yards.
okay.
I'm just
This
being a
is true.
dickhead. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. All right.
Pat
Mahomes
is
going
the plan. It's just big plays from Pat.
No, it's not. It's part of a plan. I don't think that I ever really have a plan because if I don't have a plan, I can't be pissed off when it doesn't work out.
Okay, well,
I
guess that's true in a very sad sort of way. Yeah.
No. Pat Mahomes is. I'm not worried about that. That being said, he just got MVP. He's gonna get that nice solid thumb injury week 2 or something like that just because I drafted him.
That would set up the league.
Pat Mahomes. Dalvin Cook. I think going back to the point of Minnesota only having Adam Thielen on offense as one of the power weapons anymore, I think they're going to have to rely a little bit more on Dalvin Cook, who's coming off of an already good year.
Now, Dalvin Cook's interesting because I had a shot at him when I traded up for Jordan. I took the rookie because I was afraid of Dalvin Cook's injury history.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook,
that's fair.
When he's healthy, he might be the most explosive big play running back on a good offensive line and everything. It just scares me. That's why he's not on my team.
That's true.
Were you scared to take Dalvin Cook?
I think I was as scared as taking any player as a high pick. The fact that his injury history, injuries can't happen to anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got a history, so it makes you more nervous. But I think going into a fresh year, everybody's as at risk for an injury as a first-round pick. Marlon Mack, I'm going to kind of bank on the fact that Jonathan Taylor takes a little bit to get warmed up. Mm-hmm. Whenever he does get warmed up, trade him out. We'll see what happens there.
So you're the only team that kept a quarterback over. We know how great Pat Mahomes is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at everyone else's team, Jenny's got Derrick Henry already, right? Yeah. I had Julio Jones. Mm-hmm. Some big name players that we all got to start with. Pat Mahomes is a big name, but he is a quarterback.
True.
Do you wish you had ended up with a running back instead of keeping Mahomes?
I thought about that as I watched the video, and yes, obviously, I could just as easily take Deshaun Watson. I could just as easily take a Tom Brady, who's going to get you about as many fantasy points. The fact is, out of the 3 that I wanted to pick from last year, Pat Mahomes just was an unquestionable compared to everybody else. After I got through my first two picks, it was I'm not going to keep a Marlon Mack over Pat Mahomes.
Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
it wasn't your first choice, but it makes sense that he had to be one of the 3. So.
Yeah, and then after you get past Pat Mahomes and Dalvin Cook, everybody else kind of is a role player. I think I got a pretty good steal in Jarvis Landry. I got him in 7th round, I think, or 8th round.
Jordan will tell you he's about to have a monster season.
Yeah,
it's up to Jordan. You trade that guy Jordan.
It goes my way.
Jordan doesn't have anyone good to trade for.
Yeah, and then Bill's Mafia, baby. You gotta go Bill's Mafia.
Bill's Mafia. Somewhere coach is excited to hear that.
Now, Noah Fant's interesting. I already traded for him.
That's true. We swapped tight ends.
We swapped. You got
I got Hawkinson. You got
T.J. Hawkinson.
I threw you in a pretty good backup running back, which we'll look at down there, and Chris Thompson.
Now I got AP. Who I actually picked up before he got traded. So that was nice and done. I picked up AP in 10th or 11th round.
Yeah, he might do something in Detroit, especially if it sounds like Swift is hurt. So
yeah.
I think at least this first couple weeks he'll get touches enough.
Yeah, and then I got Julian Edelman as he's gonna get the ball. He's got N'Keal Harry to compete with, but I don't think it's much of a competition yet. As more so as they're going to try and get N'Keal Harry.
The question is, can Cam Newton throw it to a white guy who's besides Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's a little easier to toss this to running back than is the.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this. Can Christian McCaffrey or can Cam Newton throw to anybody on the Patriots? It's such a different system.
Such a different world there.
And I like Marvin Jones Jr. when Kenny G goes down for the season.
Yeah. I mean, I like Marvin Jr. when Kenny G's healthy for the season.
Yeah. I had him a couple years ago, and he did me pretty well.
Just got to find the right
and then,
game
you got Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
I'm going to see how that. I think I'm going to leave him on the bench for a little bit. I might. We'll see what the football gurus say, how much they influence me. But I think Ronald Jones is.
I've already told you should start Chris Thompson week 1, so I think he's going to be good. Jacksonville's going to suck all season, so they're going to have to dump it down to the running back because they're down 40 points.
They're going to run it up the gut, just like the Jets did with Le'Veon Bell, except they didn't have any O-line.
Oh, my gosh. Unreal.
All right. So that's it for the season. I'm just kidding.
All right. We're down to our 2 newbies. Got 2 new guys in the league this year. So we're going to talk about their teams, see if they came out. The nice thing is, so we're going to talk about Keenan first, but both new guys got to start with great players.
Yeah.
Just kind of a little bit of the system of they didn't have anybody to choose from as their keepers, so their keepers got to be a little better odds than us, and they both ended up pretty good. Keenan, as you can tell, started with Michael Thomas, the number 1 receiver come out of last year to set the record for receptions. So the fact that he got him right off the bat is pretty fat, and it makes you feel good about where you're at. But then Keenan went out and had the last pick of the draft. So
true.
You got someone great to start with, then you get last pick of the draft. Was he able to still put together a good team?
Yeah. Well, I think he is, and you know why?
Carry on my wayward son.
I think he's going to have a much better year this year.
We don't have licensing for that song, for the record. So if this makes any money, we apologize.
I think Carry On's going to have a much better year this year. I think that the Lions are still the Lions, and they fucking suck. I'm just kidding.
They do suck. There's no doubt about it.
I think they're gonna be comfortable with relying more on Carry On.
I like that's an interesting choice. What I don't like is David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell.
I don't like that either.
You look at it, you're 2 running backs. David Johnson's going to catch the ball a lot, but it's 2 running backs who get a lot of touches and don't do a lot with them.
Exactly.
Which we talked about earlier, how great that is. But those were people that were taken in the 4th, 5th round.
Right.
But these were his first 2 picks.
Yeah.
David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell.
You look at Le'Veon, and it's still nice to think of Le'Veon in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And how just phenomenal that was. But New York Jets is no O-line compared to the Steelers.
He got the ball all the time last year and still sucks.
I know.
They can't give it to him more.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how it shakes up, but I think Le'Veon's better off being, in that slot position than in the backfield position.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You see, Carry On steps up. That's great. A.J. Brown was one of his top picks. He was sitting on his bench, which is interesting. Right. You scroll back up, I want to see who he's got starting over and just real quick at receivers. DK Metcalf. Okay, he's got Metcalf.
I do like Michael Thomas. That's going to, obviously that's a great pick. But
DK Metcalf starting, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting little thing there. But
Darren Waller, I think he's very overlooked a lot. I think he's going to do a lot of
big games and he gets the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, Raiders did get a couple new receivers, but they're young guys.
Right.
And it makes more sense that, Derek Carr is going to look to who he's familiar with. So, at least for a while, I think Darren Waller is going to be a good pick.
Yeah.
You look at his bench here.
Look at this bench. Who pops out to you? What duo pops out to you? Or pops out to everybody? That Brady Gronk.
Raquel Armstead and Larry Fitzgerald. Classic duo. Most people don't know this, but they actually were a good quarterback combination back in high school.
Oh,
together.
Yeah.
Except that Larry Fitzgerald is 48 years older than him. No, yeah, Gronk and Brady. What's going on there?
Oh, my God, dude.
He was just like, man,
I
wish I had the 2009 Patriots on my team.
As of 2020, couldn't get any crazier. Gronk comes out of retirement.
I know, right? Just
Brady goes to the Bucks and says, I'm bringing Gronk out of retirement.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, motherfucker, you better get into shape because you're getting the ball every fucking game.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. Well, here's the thing. Tampa Bay already has 2 good tight ends. I mean, not great tight ends, but they're going to be on the field enough I think it's going to make it weird.
Yeah, but what's that? That off chance that you get
I know.
that Super Bowl Gronkowski come back
know. And it just feels good.
after a year of just relaxing, or was it more? Was it a year?
Just 1 year. It's just 1 year off. Yeah.
Relaxing, getting all the treatment you need, and then having it wasn't like he was called up today.
Yeah, and
he was
Gronk's
called
not
up
that
a
old.
while ago.
Gronk's not 35. I think he's 29, maybe 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually still
He's still in
a
prime shape.
relatively young athlete. So
Yeah.
It is interesting. If you believe in Brady and you believe in the system, I mean, take the shot. Get a little stack there. Like I said, his team might need it. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens
I
there.
don't know.
That'll be interesting.
I think he did okay at the draft for his first year in, but I think this next team we're going to look at is probably the only team that I think can compete with Jenny's just on opening day roster. That's Mr. Miyagi here.
Oh my God, Matthew Peterline.
Matthew Peterline. So this is my sister Lexi's boy toy there. He's okay, but he, the fuckwad, got to keep Saquon Barkley.
I know.
Arguably the number one player in fantasy. Arguably one of the best athletes in all of actual football.
Yeah. Well, look, you don't have.
He's a monster.
Back to my point. You don't have Eli Manning anymore. How much more are they going to run it compared to last year?
I know.
And they ran it a shit ton last year.
I know. What a great keeper to have. And then the asshole goes out and gets the second, third pick
Yeah.
right out of his
Third,
dick.
I think, or
So
yeah, I don't remember.
And it starts right off with the stack that you see: Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Rumors out of Saints camp is that Kamara is very close to signing the extension, so that big scare about him might get traded, blah, 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 that seems to be going out the window.
Yeah, it's not being talked about anymore.
So now you have two studs who catch the ball, run the ball, score a lot. I mean, do you need anything else on your team?
Deshaun Watson won't hurt.
John Watson won't hurt, that's for sure. He did lose Hopkins, but I mean, he's still Deshaun Watson.
Now, Jordan will tell you Odell Beckham's gonna have a Super Bowl year.
Yeah, man.
But what do you think about OBJ this year?
I think OBJ's fine. I think OBJ will be better than he was last year, but he'll still just be fine. And even at his prime, he was kind of hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we had the discussion earlier about can you win without a running back? We look at this team here. Can you win without a receiver? Can you win? Not without a receiver. Amari Cooper and Odell are both good receivers.
Right.
But they also are both historically hit or miss receivers.
True. And you do have Tyler Lockett in the flex, but it's Tyler Lockett.
Yeah,
So
also big.
I think
boom or bust
this
guy.
lineup is more likely to win without a receiver than any other lineup is to win without a running back.
Yeah, I think that's true. But there's going to be weeks that you're going to go out there and all three of those receivers combined are going to get you 9 points.
Right, and then you're going to have bye weeks.
Yeah, so can you...
So let's see who you're going to replace him with.
I no one good.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt did just get an extension. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Two-year little extension, so that might hurt Nick Chubb
I mean,
a little bit.
it doesn't say
what.
much, but it says that he's promising enough to Cleveland that they want to keep him.
Yeah. I don't know that I would start him. I wouldn't feel comfortable throwing him in there. Cam Akers is interesting, though. He might have a shot at getting a role in the Rams. Now that Todd Gurley's gone, someone's going to have to be the bell call there.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Cam Akers, all of a sudden you can throw him in the flex every week, and now you don't have as much variance in your receivers, and you feel a little bit better about yourself.
True.
So I think this is a good starting lineup based on just 3 stud players.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And first you see.
And then it's a couple upside guys that can make plays. But
all right. So you just want to go through wrap this show up. Go through our matchups.
Well, let's do this actually. What I'm thinking is we have a new format this year. I don't know if anyone knows this, but we did add 2 players. So instead of the traditional 4 playoff teams, now we have 6.
That's
Half
true.
of the league makes the playoffs. So let's just go through real quick. I want you to put that mouse on. We'll just stop and just tell me playoffs or not playoffs. Start at the top left here, and we'll just go through each team.
We got vinegar strokes here. I think.
Is this a playoff team?
I'll be honest with you, Coach. You're going to pull your coach by the end of the season, but I think it's not a playoff team.
You don't think that's a playoff? You know what? That might not be a playoff team, but I'm a playoff player.
Exactly. I said.
So I guarantee vinegar strokes. I guarantee that's a playoff spot.
All right.
I'll go out there and give.
We got Twin Lake Tachanka over here. I think he's a playoff team.
Yeah, as it is, I think it's too good. I think it's a playoff team too.
Mhm.
There's nothing about it. Like we said, Mixon, Drake, Hopkins, Chark, Wilson, just too solid of a core.
Yeah.
I think that's playoff team number 2.
Yeah. Chalupa Batman. That's playoff team, just based on the first round pick.
I'm gonna go out and say it's not.
You gonna say it's not?
I think Carey's going to struggle to make the playoffs.
I think he's gonna be the
because
sixth
his
man in.
receivers.
I think he's gonna be the sixth team in. He's gonna have the sixth seed, but I think he's a playoff team.
All right. A little bit of disagreement there. So you've already said 3 of the 6. So out of the last 9, you only got 3 more people.
Well, I've got 2.
You
I didn't
that's right.
say-
You didn't say I was making it in.
Yeah.
So we're both.
We got Wakanda forever. You know, let's
Is
look at
Bush
this really
making
quick.
the playoffs?
I don't think Bush is making the playoffs. I think Calvin Ridley is not going to be as good as we think he's going to be. I think he's going to be good, but I just think that Jonathan Taylor's going to hurt him a little bit, and he's not got a deep enough bench.
I think if Bush gets 5 minutes off work,
He might be able to adjust and make
he
trades.
might be able to make an adjustment and get in the
He's
playoffs.
probably getting a call right now as
I
he's
know,
watching
Bush
this.
literally isn't even watching. He's got a call now while we're recording it. He's also got a call when he's watching it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
That guy.
Josh, he's going to be my third fantasy team or playoff team. Sorry. I think Josh is going to the playoffs. I think he's just too good not to.
I think Josh is too good. I don't love his team, but again, I think Josh is too good. Here's what I'm going to say though. I'm going to pick Bush as well. So I've got 4 teams already in because I think Bush is going to make something happen.
Think so?
I think Bush is in the playoffs.
All right. Basically, Taco. Desi, I'm sorry. You listen to Carey too much. That's not the issue. I just don't think this lineup is going very far. I like Lamar Jackson. Love him. But I just don't think the rest of the team is
I think Lamar's good too, but I don't think he's going to be as good as he was last year. And I think with Desi's team, she needs Lamar to be as good as last year.
Yeah.
And I just, it's hard to repeat best fantasy football of all time. So I'm going to go with Desi's not going to make playoffs.
Downtown Slob Knobs. Unless a lot of moves are being made, I just don't see him being...
Unless Cleveland makes the playoffs, Jordan's not making the playoffs.
That's a fair point.
Like Cleveland's got to be competing for the division for Jordan to make the playoffs. So no, Jordan's not getting in.
Team Eskimo Bros. Austin Muratori. I think based on the fact that he got about half his team wide receivers, I don't see it being a playoff team.
Austin's been a good player.
Austin makes moves as the season goes consistently. So prove me wrong for your sake.
I'm gonna agree with you though. I think Austin's gonna be the one I think might challenge with Carey for a spot, but I'm gonna say no. He's also not gonna get in. He's gonna be one of those people on the board.
The Corin team. I gotta give it to you, Jenny. You're going to the playoffs.
It's just because she doesn't have anything to do, right?
I know.
You can just keep this team as long as they're healthy. You don't have to make any moves. You don't have to do any adjustments. You get the easy season.
You got enough depth for those bye weeks. Yeah.
I think she's in.
Simply put,
I think she's my 5th playoff team.
B&B Prime. What do you think?
So this is tough because I've only got one playoff team left, and I knew that as I was thinking about it.
Well, if you got one left, you're obviously. I'm going to jump ahead here and say Matt's going to the playoffs.
Exactly. So my debate when I was thinking about it, when I was looking at Bush's team or your team, who did I think was going to get in? It's going to be close.
I think so
if I had to choose one, I would choose Bush.
Suck it, Bush.
But I think you two are the the last spot in. I don't think you're gonna make it because I already said I think Bush is gonna make it.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Well, I only have 3 teams left anyway. I have 2 teams. I think Matt's going in.
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi's definitely in.
I'm not gonna give myself that spot. I'm not gonna put myself in that position.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Keenan, but because that way, show up and just beat all your asses.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So there we go, guys. That's our breakdown of our preseason here. We're gonna jump back in and hopefully do another recording at the end of the week, probably Sunday, to break down the matchups, see how the matchups are going. We'll give a little preview, all that good stuff, and our goal is to do that every week. But we wanted to get a first weekend where we just got to talk about the teams.
Yeah.
And so next time we get to jump in, we get to break down our matchups. We'll see how everyone's doing. And hope you guys join us every week for Coach and Coach podcast. And hopefully Coach can join us sometime. But for now, we were glad to have Gator. And thank you guys for watching, all right?
All right. Peace, fam.
Deuces.